Hey guys, welcome to Study IQ. Today we are going to talk about a news from economy. Now recently you must have heard that from India, Citibank, a bank which is headquartered at United States, it is exiting from India and it is selling its consumer business in India, right? So we want to talk about Citibank's decision here. Again, we have covered this extensively on Study IQ before also. I'm quite sure that you must have heard about this news. But right now, we are going to talk about the core reasons behind Citibank's exit from India. What are the options in front of Citibank and what we can expect next. Now, please remember that whenever a big conglomerate or a big business exits from India, there is always a question mark on the government handling, right? Or the regulatory framework in India. We all say that in India, the process is very, very cumbersome. There are bureaucratic hurdles, there is red tapeism, there is a lot of corruption, etc. All these things are alleged, right? But here, if you talk about this particular decision by Citibank, the Citibank's new CEO has said that it is not a reflection of the India's operations, meaning it is not with respect to the Indian regulatory framework, but it is rather the displeasure or the ire with the regulators in United States and probably the issue from investors also, the stakeholders or the shareholders in Citibank who are expecting the answers from the management. So we'll try to understand what exactly has happened here. So stay tuned with me. You're going to get very interesting information about Citibank and why it is exiting and what are the options in front of it. I am your friend Rahul Saigaonkar. You can follow me on the IDs that are given here. And if you're preparing for UPSC Civil Service Examination, there's golden opportunity for you. You can prepare safely from your home during this pandemic. We have created a smart course for you. There is curated content for you where you have current affairs, where you have prelims, where you have mains, we have many things, right? Just visit studyiq.com or go to or download the app from Google Play Store and then know more about us. Right, let's first talk about the news. We all know that Citibank had announced in April itself, in April 2021, that they are going to shut down their business. Now, the question here is this Citibank in India exiting completely? Please remember that it is not exiting completely. It is exiting only the consumer banking division. That means the other divisions like the corporate division, etc., those are going to continue in India. Now, what is the meaning of this consumer banking division? Consumer banking division means plain and simple. If you have an account in Citibank, you go to a bank and you do the dealing there, right? That particular bank is going to be closed now. Meaning the credit card business, the mortgage business, the personal business, the deposit business, the branches, etc., those will be closed and the corporate business will continue, right? So you can see the news here from Forbes that Citi is going to exit its retail banking, meaning the physical brick and mortar banks which are there, those will be sold, and now instead of a Citi on the bank's name, someone else will come, whoever is going to buy that Citibank. Now, let's try to discuss first about Citibank. Let's try to know about Citibank in India and then we'll discuss and answer some of the questions that why it is exiting. First of all, Citibank is one of the oldest banks in India. It started operations in 1902, first time in Calcutta in India. So it has a very, very long history. Although if you want to ask me about the retail operations, the consumer banking, it did start very late in 1985 and this is in line with the LPG reforms that we brought in India. Just before 1991, when the Rajiv Gandhi government was there, they did start a lot of liberalization and privatization, and at that time, the consumer banking was allowed for Citibank. But try to remember that Citibank is much older than this in its origin. See, Citibank technically started in 1802 as the Bank of New York, Citibank of New York, and later on, they have slowly and steadily expanded. Everything now comes under the Citi Group, right? Under the Citi Group, you have the Citibank India, Citi Operations Australia, Citi Operations other countries. Now, in April 2021, after 119 years of operations in India, Citi has announced that they are going to close the consumer banking in India. Now, if we talk about Citibank, I'm quite sure that many of our viewers who are watching, they might be having Citibank credit cards, right? With a very good capacity, and normally elite consumers are also there with the Citibank. Citibank has been a pioneer in this regard. It has been a pioneer with respect to the credit cards, with respect to the development of ATMs, with respect to giving 24 hours services, phone banking, internet banking, SMS services, and later on many of the other banks have also joined this bandwagon. And today we see that it is because of the efforts of Citibank, many other banks have improved their operations. Agreed? Because we do see that the public sector banks in India have also enhanced their operation a lot. Why? Because now they are competing with these private banks. And if you talk about the extent of Citibank in India, Citibank has been serving about 2.9 million, that is 29 lakh Indians, out of which they have about 1.2 million bank accounts, about 10 lakh bank accounts, and about 20 lakh credit card accounts. So they have been having this great business with respect to credit card. That's why I told you many of our viewers must be having a Citibank credit card for sure, right? And in India, if you talk about Citibank, it operates through 35 branches, again in major cities. They have 525 ATMs and they have about 19,000 employees, a little more than 19,000 employees. Now the question arises here. If Citibank is leaving their operations, will these 19,000 employees be fired? The answer would be no. Why? See, there would be some firing for sure, but not all the 19,000 employees are going to leave Citibank, because many would be shifted from this consumer banking to probably corporate banking or other sectors, other divisions, whatever Citibank has right now. And many would be absorbed with the bank itself, because when Citibank is selling, see, if I am the owner of Citibank, I'll try to sell the business to some other bank or some other entity which is interested in banking itself. So those people will be absorbed. Again, there would be an agreement that they are not going to lay off these people in future. Some kind of a clause can be put so that the jobs would be safeguarded. But nonetheless, some jobs are going to be lost for sure, right? So this is the operation of Citi in India. Now the next question arises, is it because of the Indian government that Citibank is exiting? The answer would be no. Is it only from India that Citibank is exiting? The answer would be no. Again, it is not just in India that they are exiting, right? When the decision was taken, it was told that it is a strategic decision. It is more of a restructuring decision. And many people did think that COVID-19 may be one of the reasons. Yes, perhaps it may have had some sort of impact. But in general, we have seen that many banks, whenever they are going through some sort of adversity, they do go for such restructuring. And it is not just in India that Citibank is exiting. It is exiting from 13 locations, including India. Now it is exiting from Australia, it is exiting from Bahrain, China, Indonesia, Korea, Malaysia, Philippines, Poland, Russia, Taiwan, Thailand, and Vietnam also. So it is closing its operations, consumer operations and other operations in many other countries. And now they have told that we are restructuring and we are focusing more and more on wealthy areas. Although again, there is one area, Mexico, which I wouldn't say is comparable to other wealthy regions, but in Mexico, Citibank is the second largest bank and they are continuing their operations in Mexico. Apart from Mexico, obviously United States, because a bank based in United States, they are going to provide services in US also, right? Apart from these areas, they are going to focus more and more on the global wealth zones like Hong Kong, Singapore, UAE and United Kingdom, where they will be providing these services. So the question is that, was it because of Indian regulators or Indian regulatory framework or Indian cumbersome procedures that Citibank left? The answer would be no. Then why are they leaving? Why exactly Citi is exiting? According to the CEO, Jane Fraser, it was a strategic decision and it has no reflection on India's operations, right? That was a statement. So who is responsible for this particular decision? Now, many financial experts, they highlight that the root of the problem is not Indian regulating system. It is the US regulatory systems, US Federal Reserve and US's Office of the Comptroller of Currency, that has played a big role in closing of Citi's operation. In fact, a lot of losses to Citibank also. Now, if we look at this Office of Comptroller of Currency in United States, it has been at loggerheads with Citibank for a very long time over many of the banking requirements. We do understand that whenever a bank opens, it has to follow certain rules, procedures with respect to risk management, with respect to data protection, with respect to internal control, with respect to other enterprise-wide risk management. On all these factors, the office of the Comptroller of Currency in United States is at loggerheads with Citibank. In fact, in October 2020, the office of the Comptroller of Currency, it imposed a fine on Citigroup of $400 million. Yes, I'm repeating, $400 million. Why? Because Citibank had failed to establish effective risk management and data governance programs and effective internal controls in their setup, right? So the US regulatory systems have been behind Citibank's exit from many countries. In fact, the office of the Comptroller of Currency, it went to such an extent that whenever Citibank is going to now go for new acquisitions, it has to seek approval from OCC. In fact, OCC also said that if the Citigroup and their management do not take requisite steps, then they have the right to even change the senior management. The condition went to that particular extent. So first of all, a fight or the issue with regulators in United States is one of the reasons for their exit. And the second reason is obviously performance also, their own performance. In terms of the profit margin, I would say there were many investors, many shareholders, many other stakeholders in Citigroup and Citibank who were continuously questioning the performance of Citi. Now, why? Because in the financial year 2022, the Citibank in United States, it is trading at a lower price. It is trading at about 0.75 to its price to book ratio. That means if the bank's value is say 1 rupee, then in the share market, it is actually trading at 0.75 rupee itself. Rupee or dollar, whatever it may be. Now, if I compare this with other banks, which are actually very profitable in United States, like the Wells Fargo, like the Bank of America, they have been trading more than 1 price to book ratio. That means they are in the profitable region, but Citibank is somewhere in the under profit region, right? Apart from that, if I talk about India itself, now in India specifically, Citibank has been continuously losing share. Why? Because there has been a stiff competition from many players. We see that Indian banking sector has grown immensely. Yes, there is consolidation of Indian banking sector going on. There is a competition from public sector banks whose performance has enhanced, whose services have enhanced. There is a competition from other banks, other private banks also. Now, apart from that, there are many regulatory issues also in India, especially with respect to the priority sector lending. But that is a meager issue nonetheless. But if you look at the Citibank's performance in India, in 2012, Citibank was number 2 in terms of the issuance of credit card in India. That means it was second number with respect to number of credit cards to Indian consumers. And its market share was about 1/5. It had a market share of 21%. That means if there are 100 credit cards in India, 21 belonged to Citigroup, Citibank. And in 8 years, their share has been continuously going down. By 2020, their market share in terms of credit cards, which has been very profitable. Why? Because if you look at the different credit cards and credit card suppliers in India, there is Citibank, there is Standard Chartered, there is American Express, there is SBI, which is the biggest player. SBI is by far the number 1 credit card provider in India right now. But compare all these credit cards in terms of their average spendings, because average spending with respect to Citibank has always remained higher than any other card. So their average spending has remained high. That means they have elite customers, agreed. But their market share has come down to only 6% in last 8 years. And from a second position, they have slipped to 6th position in India. Again, I mentioned, although their average spending has been still very high. Now, because of all these reasons, they are exiting. And the exit process has started, the discussions have started. I'm quite sure that if you have read the news from Economy, you must have understood that Citibank has been offering the entire business for about 4,000 crore rupees in recent news snippets you must have heard. So what is next for Citibank and its exit in India? What next? First of all, who may be interested in buying this Citibank? There are many Indian private entities who would love to have Citibank business with them, especially the banks like Axis Bank, the banks like Kotak Mahindra. They would love to have their credit card business at least, because Kotak Mahindra is also trying to spread their credit card business. Now, apart from these private banks, there may be some other foreign banks who must be interested in this. And as of the reports which are going on in media, the Development Bank of Singapore, DBS, is one of the front runners in buying Citibank's business, right? In fact, there are talks going on between the Development Bank of Singapore and Citibank, and many media reports do suggest they are at the advanced level, and whatever number I told you, 4,000 crore, that offer has been made to the Development Bank of Singapore itself. And if you remember, last year, this Development Bank of Singapore, which is trying to expand its operations in India, it bought one of the distressed banks in India, Lakshmi Vilas Bank. I hope you remember this particular news. So we might expect that DBS, which is a front runner, they might buy the Citibank and its businesses, consumer business in India. Now, apart from this, there are many other big non-banking financial companies in India, right? There is Muthoot, there are many other companies which have started their NBFCs. They might be interested because it is always that these NBFCs are looking for licensing to start their own banks. Now, we have seen that recently the Bandhan Bank, the IDFC Bank, they were given licenses, right? And Airtel Payments Bank, Paytm Payments Bank have also started operation. So some NBFCs in India may also be in fray to look at this particular buy. So as of now, the front runner is the Development Bank of Singapore itself. Now the question arises, what exactly is going to happen, or when exactly this might happen? Now we need to note that if the sale happens to some Indian private bank, if Indian private bank buys, it would be very, very easy, because regulatory clearances would be very easy, because the private bank already has the license and they just need the approval from the regulators, that is the RBI, right? But if we talk about some foreign bank, say the Development Bank of Singapore, say some other NBFC which it buys, then there would be some sort of a delay, because we have to get approval now from the RBI. If DBS buys, they have to get approval from their own regulator from Singapore also. If NBFC buys, then first they have to apply for licensing. RBI has to approve it. RBI has to give it the license to first run a bank, and after some time they run these banking operations, then probably complete operations would be given. Some sort of a delay would happen if a sale is made to foreign bank or some sort of NBFC, right? So that is this situation as of now with respect to Citibank. Now the final question that we are going to answer is that, is Citibank the first to exit from India? Is it the first foreign bank to exit from India? The answer would be no again. In fact, the answer would be yes. When you consider the COVID-19 pandemic, it would be the first foreign bank to exit because of the COVID-19 pandemic or owing to COVID-19 pandemic. Now earlier also, many banks have left India, like the Barclays, the Deutsche Bank, Morgan Stanley, the Royal Bank of Scotland. Many banks have left. They have completely shut down their businesses. They have sold out, or they have partially restructured their businesses in India. The question arises, why? Yes, regulatory issues have been there in India because of the cumbersome procedures, the red tapeism, the delays, the public sector lending issues. But right now with Citibank, that is not the case, right? But with other banks, that has been the case. And many other banks have earlier left because of slowdown or recession. Now, if you see that 2008 recession was very, very severe. Later on, we had a mini recession in 2013 also plaguing Europe. Because of these, many banks have exited from India. And apart from that, we do understand in India, the operating cost is generally very high of banking operations, right? Especially owing to the non-performing assets. And we Indians, we love to have these social interactions. That means, on a lighter note, I would say we love to go to bank. We love to go to bank and talk to the manager, talk to the personnel. We get that feel of banking, right? Although recently we have started digital banking also, right? Digital banking is happening now, but still there are many old school consumers in India who would like to go to a bank and do this banking service just to get that feel. And if any foreign bank wants this, whose primary operations would be digitalization. If you look at their operations in developed countries, say United States, say other countries, they would provide only digital services. There are many times that these foreign banks do not have a brick and mortar establishment in other countries. They only provide digital services, right? But in India, that doesn't work. That is why there are high operating costs if you want to operate in India, because you have to set up your banks, you have to hire your personnel, and then you have to provide continuous service to these consumers. So because of which operating cost does become high, right? Because of all these issues, previously Barclays has gone, Deutsche is gone, now Citibank has exited, and a big question still is in front of us. Today it is Citibank. Is it the last bank to exit India? So please look out for this, because COVID pandemic is going to put stress on many businesses. We might expect that in the upcoming years, many foreign entities might exit India, not just from the banking sector, from other sectors also. That would be the impact of COVID pandemic. So let's wait and watch for that. If any news comes, so that we will bring it to you as soon as possible on Study IQ. That is it right now from my side on this part of discussion. I hope this was interesting for you. Thank you for watching. Jai Hind.